The entire internet is in shock as news breaks that the FBI has officially arrested D4VD after new evidence surfaced. Evidence that investigators claim changes everything. Fans were still trying to process the first rumors when suddenly real footage, real reports, and real statements started circulating across every major platform. What looked like just another celebrity allegation has now escalated into one of the most unexpected federal-level cases of the year, leaving people stunned, confused, and desperate for answers. Sources close to the situation say the FBI had been quietly building this case for months, but the breakthrough didn't come from where anyone expected. It wasn't a witness, it wasn't a leaked message, it wasn't a confession. Instead, new digital evidence allegedly surfaced. Evidence officials claim is undeniable. Those words alone sent shockwaves through the industry. D4VD, known for his emotional, atmospheric music and rising fame, is now at the center of a legal storm so intense that even major outlets are scrambling to keep up. Fans are torn between disbelief and fear, flocking to social media to defend him, question the FBI, or demand transparency. Meanwhile, critics are calling this a career-ending moment. Industry insiders are whispering about label panic, contract freezes, and confidential phone calls. And behind the scenes, lawyers are scrambling to get ahead of the narrative. This isn't a minor controversy. This isn't speculation. This is federal intervention, a real arrest, and a story that's unfolding faster than anyone can process. The story starts with a jolt that nobody in the music world saw coming. One moment, D4VD was trending on TikTok for his haunting vocals, and the next, social media exploded with a terrifying headline: FBI arrested D4VD after new evidence surfaces. Rumors always swirl around rising stars, but this was different. This wasn't a gossip blog fishing for clicks. This was federal agents, badges out, moving with precision. Before fans could even process what was happening, videos started circulating. Shaky, phone-recorded clips showing a line of black SUVs pulling up outside a luxury apartment building in Los Angeles. At first, people assumed it was a movie shoot, maybe a music video, maybe a prank. But when viewers zoomed in, they caught it. The unmistakable FBI jackets, agents speaking urgently into radios, and then D4VD himself being escorted out in handcuffs, head down, covered in a black hoodie. The internet went silent for a moment, and then erupted. One question took over all platforms: what did they find? Because according to early reports, D4VD wasn't just picked up. He was arrested after the FBI received new evidence tied to an ongoing federal investigation. Evidence that apparently changed everything. The first clue, a sealed case. To understand the magnitude of this moment, you have to know that D4VD already had a quiet cloud hanging over him. A sealed case that reporters couldn't access but kept hinting at. For months, fans noticed strange patterns, court dates rescheduled, travel restrictions being rumored, and cryptic Instagram stories where he seemed stressed, unfocused, or just different. People brushed it off. He's a young artist under pressure. He's probably just exhausted from touring. But behind the scenes, federal investigators had been slowly building a file, one they weren't ready to act on until now. The new evidence that changed everything. Here's where things get complicated. According to sources close to the investigation, the FBI recently received an encrypted digital file connected to a person who had previously been interviewed in the original case. The identity of this person hasn't been revealed yet, but insiders claim they were someone who had been protecting D4VD until something forced their hand. The file allegedly contained footage that investigators hadn't seen before, messages that contradicted statements D4VD made earlier, and something the FBI classified as compelling physical evidence. This wasn't a minor update. This was the kind of evidence that shifts an entire case from monitoring to execute the arrest immediately. That's why the agents move fast, and why the internet is in flames right now. The moment everything unraveled, neighbors described the scene as surreal. Agents knocked once, no answer. Seconds later, they forced entry. Inside, they found D4VD awake, pacing, phone in hand, as if he knew something was coming. Some witnesses say he looked shocked. Others say he looked resigned, like someone who'd been waiting for this moment. When they walked him out, but the only thing he said, barely audible, was, "I didn't do this." But even that short sentence sparked a new storm online. Fans divided. Free D4VD versus the truth is coming out. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, all split in half. Half the internet is chanting, "Free D4VD." This is a setup. Someone's trying to take him down. They point to how sudden the arrest was, how vague the evidence is, how many rising artists get targeted when they become successful. But the other half says the opposite. Where there's smoke, there's fire. The case was sealed for a reason. The FBI doesn't arrest people without strong evidence. And that's what makes this situation so volatile. Nobody knows the truth yet, and until officials release a statement, everything is speculation. The industry reaction, eerily quiet. Here's something even stranger. Big artists who normally react instantly to industry controversies are silent. No supportive tweets, no hold your head up posts, no PR statements, nothing from his label. That silence is louder than words. People close to the music industry say labels usually step in immediately to control the narrative, but this time, the label hasn't defended him or called the reports false. That alone has fans terrified. Some insiders are whispering that the label was notified in advance, meaning they might already know how serious this situation is. His last posts look different now. Fans went back through his recent social media activity and started noticing things they missed before. A late-night IG story saying, "I wish things were different." A deleted tweet. People switch sides when they're scared. Multiple photos where he looked stressed, drained, or deep in thought. At the time, people assumed it was just emotional expression. Now, everyone is wondering if he knew the evidence was about to surface. Who leaked the new evidence? This might be the biggest plot twist. A source claiming to be close to the situation says the evidence didn't come from hackers, police, or random strangers. It allegedly came from someone D4VD trusted, someone in his circle, someone who had access, someone who had something to lose, unless they handed that evidence over. There are rumors the person didn't do it voluntarily. They were threatened, promised immunity, or forced to choose between themselves and D4VD. If that's true, then everything about this case is about to get darker. Where D4VD is now. As of the latest update, D4VD has been placed in federal custody. His legal team is reportedly preparing to challenge the arrest, but until the charges are officially read in court, they can't do much. The FBI has not confirmed the nature of the new evidence. They haven't denied it either, and that silence has fans anxious and glued to their screens. The big question, what happens next? This arrest could go one of two ways. Either the evidence is damning, or this is the biggest misunderstanding in D4VD's careers. But one thing is clear, whatever the FBI found, it changed the trajectory of this case instantly. And part 2 is where things get even more shocking, because insiders say the evidence isn't even the biggest twist. The real twist is who sent it, and why. The shock of D4VD's arrest was still rippling across the internet when another bombshell dropped, one that took this entire story from unexpected controversy to full-blown federal thriller. Because hours after the arrest, a whistleblower stepped forward, not publicly, but quietly through a back-channel message sent to multiple journalists. The message didn't reveal their identity, but it confirmed something fans were already whispering. The new evidence came from inside his own circle, someone close, someone he trusted. That line flipped the entire narrative. Suddenly, the story wasn't just about what D4VD may or may not have done. It became a story of betrayal, the FBI's silent strategy. Why they waited for months. People wondered why the sealed investigation into D4VD never went anywhere. If something serious was involved, why didn't they act sooner? Why was there no arrest until now? According to insiders, the FBI had been watching quietly, waiting for one thing, confirmation that D4VD was involved. They allegedly had pieces of evidence, but nothing that could survive a courtroom battle. That's why they didn't arrest him earlier. Their goal wasn't to rush, it was to make the case airtight. And then the turning point happened. Someone close to D4VD cracked under pressure. Someone who had access to communication logs, digital files, personal notes, things nobody outside his inner circle would ever get their hands on. The FBI used that person's leaked information as the final piece of the puzzle, and once they had it, they didn't wait a single day. The mystery inner circle member. Wait, do you want to? Who could it be? Now the internet is obsessed with figuring out one thing: who betrayed D4VD? The guesses range from believable to wild: a former manager, a close friend, a producer who left the team, a girl he was dating, someone on his security team, or even a family member. But one clue from the whistleblower stands out. This person wasn't acting alone. That implies coordination, pressure, possibly a deal with investigators. And when you add that to the FBI's swift action, fans believe this wasn't a random leak. It was a carefully planned move by people who felt cornered. The evidence was not just digital, it was physical. Sources claimed the encrypted file wasn't the only thing delivered. The leak also included physical items: a hard drive, a sealed envelope with dates and locations, a handwritten note allegedly from D4VD equipment linked to the original case. And here's the part sending the fandom into meltdown. Investigators reportedly found fingerprints on at least one item that matched D4VD's. If that's true, then the case just went from accusations to tangible proof. That's why the FBI didn't hesitate. They believed they had enough to hold him without bail. The moment his legal team arrived hours after the arrest, footage surfaced of D4VD's lawyer entering the federal building, moving quickly, head down, refusing to answer questions. Legal analysts who reviewed the footage noticed something unsettling. The attorney looked worried, not confident this is a misunderstanding, not angry at the system, worried. And when a lawyer walks into a federal case with that expression, it says everything. They know the evidence is serious. They know the prosecution is confident. They know this isn't something easily dismissed. The internet digging begins, and fans find clues. Fans, being fans, started digging through old posts, deleted tweets, interviews, behind-the-scenes clips, anything that could give insight into what D4VD was dealing with before the arrest. One clip recirculated heavily, a backstage video from months ago where D4VD is heard saying, "If something happens, it won't be random. I know exactly who would do it." At the time, it sounded like normal stress talk. Now, it sounds like a warning. People believe he suspected someone close to him was preparing to turn on him, but he didn't know when or how. The label finally breaks silence, and it's bad. The strangest part of the entire situation was how silent the music industry was. But after pressure from fans, D4VD's label finally released a statement. A single line: cold, corporate, distant. "We are aware of the arrest and will cooperate fully with federal authorities. No, we support him. No, we believe in his innocence. Not even a, we hope this resolves quickly." That one sentence says it all. The label is protecting itself, not him. And for a rising artist, that's a nightmare scenario. Labels don't abandon their talent unless they're sure the situation is about to get worse. The court document leak. New information revealed late that night. A partially redacted court document began circulating online. Its authenticity hasn't been confirmed, but legal experts say the structure matches real federal paperwork. The document mentions possible obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, communication with a witness. That last one is the most serious, because if D4VD contacted a witness intentionally or unintentionally, that would explain why his sealed case turned into an immediate arrest. In federal law, witness interference is taken extremely seriously. Even if the original accusation is still being investigated, a former friend speaks out and makes it worse. Adding even more chaos, someone claiming to be a former friend posted, "Nobody wants to talk about what really happened. D4VD made choices." Some people warned him, he didn't listen. The post was up for only 12 minutes before it was deleted, but screenshots spread everywhere. Oh, fans are divided. Oh, some call the person clout hungry. Others say the post confirms everything. But one thing is clear, people around D4VD know more than they're saying. Where D4VD stands now, alone, surrounded, and silenced as of now, D4VD is in custody and has reportedly been placed under restricted communication. That means no phone, no social media, limited legal contact, no contact with anyone tied to the case. The FBI wants to prevent him from influencing any more witnesses or destroying anything else connected to the investigation. That's how serious this has become. The biggest question, what's in that encrypted file? This is the question the entire internet is waiting to be answered. Journalists say the contents will be revealed at the preliminary hearing, and insider leaks hint that it might contain video evidence connecting D4VD to the timeline investigators were building. If true, the case may already be decided, but if the video is taken out of context, edited, or manipulated, then his legal team still has a fighting chance. Right now, nobody knows, but one thing is guaranteed: whatever is inside that file will make or break D4VD's career. The real twist, the betrayer's motive, is about to be exposed. Part 3 is where the entire story flips. Because leaked information suggests the person who betrayed D4VD didn't do it out of fear. They did it out of revenge. And the motive behind that revenge, it changes everything. The arrest of D4VD by the FBI sent shockwaves through both the music and criminal communities, and the repercussions were felt far beyond the initial headlines. The story, which began with hints of investigation and speculation, had escalated into a high-profile case with serious legal and personal consequences. Fans, collaborators, and industry insiders alike were left trying to understand the full scope of the situation, while the authorities continued to build their case based on the new evidence that led to his arrest. D4VD's detention highlighted the seriousness of the charges, with law enforcement emphasizing that the investigation had been ongoing for months before reaching a decisive moment. Reports indicated that the new evidence uncovered critical information linking him to activities under federal scrutiny. The FBI's approach was methodical, designed to ensure that the arrest would stand up in court, with careful consideration given to timing, evidence, and procedure. This meticulous preparation underscored the gravity of the situation and left little room for D4VD or his legal team to maneuver. Following the arrest, D4VD's team of lawyers immediately began strategizing a defense. Public statements were carefully worded, asserting that D4VD would cooperate fully with the investigation while maintaining his innocence. Legal experts speculated that the new evidence might be challenging to contest, and that the case could proceed to a lengthy trial if no plea deal was reached. Behind the scenes, the tension was palpable, as advisors, family members, and collaborators navigated the uncertainty surrounding both the legal and reputational implications of the arrest. The news also triggered a cascade of reactions across social media platforms. Fans expressed shock, concern, and a range of opinions regarding the severity of the charges and the implications for D4VD's career. Memes, commentary threads, and debates went viral, reflecting how quickly public interest can amplify legal developments in high-profile cases. Some supporters questioned the motivations behind the investigation, while others emphasized the need to respect the legal process. The rapid dissemination of information added pressure to all parties involved, highlighting the intersection of public scrutiny and criminal justice in the digital age. Industry peers responded cautiously, with many waiting for verified details before issuing public statements. Collaborators and artists who had previously worked with D4VD faced the challenge of navigating their professional reputations while showing support or maintaining neutrality. Every public comment or social media post had the potential to impact public perception, making the landscape both sensitive and volatile. The arrest effectively paused ongoing projects and created uncertainty about the future trajectory of D4VD's career in music and entertainment. The FBI's role in the arrest further emphasized the seriousness of the investigation. Federal agents had followed strict protocols to ensure that the arrest was conducted without incident, with consideration given to safety, legal integrity, and evidence preservation. Reports indicated that the operation was coordinated with multiple agencies, suggesting that the investigation extended beyond a single incident and involved broader concerns. This reinforced the perception that the charges were significant and that federal authorities were committed to pursuing justice thoroughly. Within the music community, speculation about D4VD's next steps became a central topic of conversation. Industry insiders debated whether he would seek a plea deal, attempt to fight the charges in court, or leverage public support to influence perception. Interviews, public appearances, and social media activity became heavily scrutinized, with analysts dissecting every word and gesture. The unfolding drama offered both cautionary lessons and a gripping narrative, demonstrating how legal entanglements can dramatically impact public figures and their careers. Family members and close friends faced an emotional ordeal, balancing concern for D4VD's well-being with the realities of the criminal justice system. The arrest brought intense pressure, requiring them to navigate media inquiries, social media speculation, and personal safety considerations. Emotional interviews revealed the human side of the situation, highlighting the stress, anxiety, and uncertainty that accompanies high-profile arrests. Support networks became critical in managing both legal and emotional challenges, reinforcing the complexity of the situation beyond the headlines. Public discussions also touched on broader themes of accountability, the consequences of actions, and the impact of fame on personal and legal circumstances. Commentators noted that the case exemplified how quickly public figures can become entwined in legal battles, especially when high-profile individuals are involved. Conversations examined the role of new evidence in shaping legal outcomes, emphasizing the importance of due process and the potential for long-term consequences on career, reputation, and personal freedom. As D4VD awaited legal proceedings, the pressure mounted on all involved parties. Court dates were anticipated, and both defense and prosecution prepared for rigorous examination of evidence, witness testimonies, and legal arguments. The FBI's careful handling of the case suggested that the legal battle would be extensive, requiring sustained attention from all sides. For D4VD, this period represented a crucial window where decisions, legal strategies, and public positioning could significantly influence the outcome. Ultimately, the arrest of D4VD marked a turning point, not just in his personal life, but also in the broader narrative surrounding accountability, celebrity, and the intersection of fame and law enforcement. The situation underscored the power of new evidence to alter legal trajectories, the influence of public perception on high-profile cases, and the complex dynamics that unfold when personal actions intersect with federal investigation. For fans and the public, the unfolding story provided a dramatic, cautionary tale about the stakes involved in legal disputes at the highest levels, setting the stage for future developments, revelations, and courtroom battles that would determine both personal and professional outcomes for D4VD. The months ahead promised to be challenging as D4VD and his legal team prepared for hearings, potential plea negotiations, and the possibility of trial. Each step would be closely monitored by fans, media, and industry insiders, ensuring that the story remained a topic of widespread interest. The arrest served as a powerful reminder that fame and notoriety come with heightened scrutiny, and that legal consequences can emerge rapidly when new evidence surfaces. For D4VD, this chapter represented both a personal and professional crossroads, with the potential to reshape his future in profound ways. What happened between Max B and Jim Jones on release day wasn't just a moment, it was a fault line cracking open beneath the entire culture. 16 years of silence couldn't erase the past, and one dismissive "who" couldn't bury the truth that's been simmering just beneath the surface. Max walked out of prison with clarity, patience, and a grown man's peace. Jim responded with fear disguised as indifference. And the streets? They connected the dots faster than anyone expected. The leaked documentary footage, the live reactions, the sudden tension in Harlem, it all points to one thing: the past is coming back, and the people involved can no longer run from it. Max didn't clap back. He didn't let the disrespect pull him back into old energy. Instead, he chose silence, strength, and redemption. He chose a future. But the industry around him won't let the past die quietly, and when the next leak drops, the world will finally learn who had something to hide all along. If this story shook you, share it. If it made you rethink the history behind one of hip-hop's most complicated feuds, talk about it, because the next chapter is going to be louder, messier, and more revealing than anything the streets have heard in years. And if you're ready for the next explosive fictional title, scandal, or saga, drop it.